top 5 observations from free agency week. So, God damn it, let's just jump right into it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the 323's Top 5.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Oh, shit. Here we've gone again. It's the 323's Top 5, and it's my top 5 observations from free agency week. These two are going to help me out and let me know after I've finished if I've missed anything, what I'm right or wrong on here. And I don't have any OLIs because there's, plenty of shit that we've already covered. But I still think some things that, I got my eye on here. Yeah, I got my eye on, and I think it's going to be some big keys going into the season. First up, number 5, a team that we all know and love, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys. Scott, Zoo, I just don't understand why them and Jerry Jones just won't fucking learn their lesson from off-season pass. They don't act on, any potential great fits, especially in the running game, like Najee Harris. I think Najee Harris would have been a really good 1-year fit with the Cowboys just to see how that goes. They sign, all their free agent pieces that basically are career depth players, and then wait forever to extend their stars when they could have gotten them on better, respectable deals if they just acted fast. Because now they have to figure out how to make a Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb's top market deals work with what's going to be, it's going to have to be a Myles Garrett level deal from Micah Parsons. And I don't know what you're going to do with Parsons. I don't know if Parsons is going to want to stay there. I don't know if Parsons is just want to play his way into free agency and then come play in Washington. I don't know, in a couple of years. Who I cross my fingers. And I just don't know what Dallas does every year. They say they're going all in. I think they said they're going all in last year, and this year they're putting all the chips on the table. So I don't know what the tiers of prioritization are for Jerry Jones, but I don't like it.
Turpin?
They did re-sign Turpin, but they let Rico Dowdle
They re-signed their long snapper.
That's a key one. That is a key one. Is Justin Tucker
I think
still
they
around?
spent more on the running back that they signed than Rico signed for in Carolina.
Javonte Williams, yeah, they got Javonte Williams, who I liked in college, but he didn't show it for me in Denver. So
how much playing time do you think a long snapper gets in a game on average? How many plays? We'll go percentage-wise. How many plays do you think that long snapper's out there for?
Oh, I was going to say like 3 minutes.
Under 10?
It's got to be under 10, right?
Under 10?
It's got to be under 10. I mean, depending on how much you're punting a game.
Right. But it's like...
Maybe not that game where we beat the Giants with kicks only, but...
yeah, or field goals and stuff like that. But yeah, my point is their long snapper signed a 3-year, $4.5 million deal to play 10 snaps a game.
Maybe they're
Zoo. What we need to do is start training Zoo to be a long snapper, and we just get him signed somewhere.
I just keep baiting like a bunch of neutral zone infractions.
Listen, you can use your martial arts skills on the line. You got the hands. You'll be fine. Yeah. All you got to learn is how to snap it.
All you got to do is snap the ball. Whatever happens after that is, that's up to the punter.
That's God's will.
That's God's will. Yeah, inshallah.
But what I want to add to that is that, I feel like Parsons is just going to be victim to the franchise tag game for 3-4 years, like what the Skins at the time did with Kirk Cousins. It's not going to be pretty, and I mean T. Higgins is going through it right now. So I think that's the hole that Micah Parsons is going to get stuck in. And then Cowboys do a decent job in the draft. I feel like they're going to go running back early, so we'll see how that turns out for how they supplement players.
Yeah, I think every mock draft and everyone I've spoken to about the first round, everyone's pretty much saying Cowboys are drafting Ashton Genty. Don't fuck with anything else. By the time you guys are picking, just grab him and go. But I'm in agreement with Zoo with the Micah Parsons scenario. Like, I think he's just going to be in franchise tag purgatory for the next couple years because their asking price for him is probably going to be way too high for a team to want to bid on, and they're not going to just let him go to the open market. So he's just going to be signing franchise tag after franchise tag, and he might just opt not even show up at that point.
Yeah, because we've seen him. He can be a little temperamental when he's on his podcast. First off, get the fucking podcast away from him. You can't keep doing what he like. He couldn't even name Dak Prescott in his top 10 quarterbacks last year. He was either way too honest or stupid. I don't know, but keep that away from him. Look, I don't mind if he comes here. I would be very happy for Micah Parsons to come to Washington. I'd be very happy for him to just leave Dallas in general because he's a menace. Just
go to the Eagles.
But you also brought up Ashton Jeanty, the Cowboys. I keep seeing these little reports and rumors that the Raiders are like all in on Ashton Jeanty and potentially taking him at 6, which him being such a perfect fit for the Cowboys leads me to fully believe the Raiders are going to take him at 6.
I think the Cowboys trade up.
Oh, I would love it if they traded up for Ashton Jeanty. Trade up for a running back.
That's a Jerry Jones move, though. He would do that. He would just give the whole farm away just to move up in the draft.
He will slap
jump up and get him.
He will slap fight
Trade
Steven to get that
just to move up and get.
Please.
Ooh, see that makes me wonder because a lot of the other mock drafts I've been seeing has Shador going to Vegas at that point. At what is that 9 that they pick at?
I think that
7.
I thought there was 6 or 7.
Oh, maybe.
Like that, yeah.
But I wonder how far Shador is going to slide at that point. If he's still on the board and the Raiders don't pick him, they go with an Ashton Jeanty. Like, how far is Shador going to slide down the draft?
It's going to get his Aaron Rodgers moment. God, it'll be
darn it.
Dion will be so insufferable.
Poor guy. God. He's not even going to be at the draft, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if he can be. Yeah. Well, they'll do their own thing at Colorado or something.
Well, he went to the combine. He didn't throw, but he went to the combine.
Well, look, let's not talk about the losers of the NFC East. I want to talk about a big winner in the NFC East, and that's at number 4 for me, the Washington Commanders. They're worrying me a little bit that they've learned the wrong lessons from last year. Just like how you see, with some big movies when like a big original creative movie comes out and like, Everything Everywhere All at Once does really well. It's a huge Best Picture winner, and you wonder, is Hollywood going to learn the right lessons from this? No, we're just going to do a shit ton of multiverse stuff. We're not going to focus on creative family drama or anything like that. We're going to do more multiverse, more acting cameos. The Commanders are worrying me that they learned the wrong lesson from, this past playoff season of bringing in older veteran players like Austin Eckler, Bobby Wagner, whoever the hell, Zach Ertz. Yeah, these older dudes who, a little over the hill, but you're getting some juice out of them and you're getting great leadership presence. I love having them there as leadership presence. But we're still continuing to assemble the Avengers of the Overhill gang with, Laramie Tunsil now is 30 and starting to, from what Texans fans have said, go a little bit on the decline. He's still had a great pass blocking season last year, which is all we need. And, he doesn't have the leadership presence, which is fine. Jaden Daniels is here. But then we also signed Jonathan Jones at corner from the Patriots. Will Harris is 29 or 30 right now, safety. Eddie Goldman, defensive tackle, is 31. You have, Javon Kinlaw at defensive tackle, and I like the potential of him. And, in Adam Peters, we trust. I trust Adam Peters. I'm going to trust Adam Peters on all of it. But I still, when I see Javon Kinlaw, I start to think, I'm like, is this, is he? Do you actually believe in the potential? Or is this like a sunk cost investment? Like we were big on him in San Francisco. I still believe in him here. It's because it's some good money that went his way. I still, I think I would have liked Jonathan Allen over him, but we'll see what comes out of it. Does it worry you at all, Zoo? Or are you just all in?
I'm not all in. There is a concern with how little they've addressed in the defensive side of the ball. It is still let AP cook, But I wasn't mad at the trade. Once I saw how old he was, I was just kind of like, okay, but why? And it's not that Tinzel has regressed at all. It's just that he got too many false start penalties. And that was the biggest complaint. But if that's your biggest problem, like we signed Sam Cosmi and he had a bunch of dumb, going too far from whatever that dumbass rule is that makes no sense whatsoever. So that's not a problem. And like Biotish kind of has like that leadership role on lock for the line. So it's like he doesn't have to do that. He just has to protect Jaden, which is a huge upgrade. I think we're good there. While I think that the Commanders are going to get a running back early in the draft, I feel like they are going to use the draft to fortify their defense. I think they are going to get the best defensive edge available. I feel like they are going to get a strong cornerback. And for those positions, I think they're just going to let them battle it out to see who's best for what. The first few weeks, that's basically what it was D-line rotations, it was cornerback rotations, it was offensive line rotations. Like, what is the set that works best for us? What is the set that works best for the opponent that we're going against? So I'm not concerned with them signing older people, because those are older people that are just like hungry to compete and win, and Jaden's going to elevate them on the offensive side. We just need them to be slightly above average on the defensive side.
And that's why I'm totally fine with the Laramie Tunsil move. Like the Tunsil move, whatever. Like he's 100% going to be better, I think, than what makes it great for me is it allows Brandon Coleman to move from left tackle to guard. Coleman was still, good as a rookie at that position, but I think he fits guard a little bit better naturally, and you can move him in. You can still maybe get some depth pieces around. Overall, the O-line was pretty good last year. It wasn't a huge concern for me, just the tackle spots, and Tunsil fills that. And it also opens up, like you said, for the draft to now really attack the defensive edge spot and look for somebody like every time I saw him, at least, and Scott would know this better than me, of where he's currently projected in the draft. But Jack Sawyer from Ohio State, for a long time, I kept seeing him in the 20s range or like late first round. I would love if we could get Jack Sawyer, like a defensive end like that. I think this is
a lot of mock drafts. That'd be great.
I think where is he? Where do you think he's projecting right now, Scott? Because I think the free agency week totally changes all the mock drafts before that we're getting beforehand.
He might sneak into the first, like towards the back half.
Perfect.
But if he doesn't go there, he'll be he'll be in the second round early.
I would take the risk on him.
I think right now he's ranked. I think last time I checked, like the CBS draft board, I think he was around like 35 to 37, somewhere in there. So yeah, I have him. Unless somebody, like you said, like a team in the back half of that first round, they don't get an edge rusher that in free agency, or like a James Pierce from Tennessee, or like Jalen Walker from Georgia, like they might reach and try to snag him in the first round so you can get the because what's that 5th-year option, player option that you get for the first round picks? Mm-hmm. So somebody might do that just to grab him to get the extra benefit. But if he doesn't go in the first round, it'll be a very high second round. I
mean, he was a dog in college. What has him being projected like that and not like what you're my college expert here. Like what is the difference between him and who's the top edge rusher?
One thing that always pops up is arm length with edge rushers, because you need to be able to get some separation. So he has very average length and arm size. He's not really like a premier athlete, like a physical specimen. He's a lunch pill guy. He's a grinder. You go in and get his nose dirty, but he also really lacks on like the physicality of it. Like he just needs to get a little bit stronger to be able to bull rush some of those offensive linemen, because it's a completely different ballgame right now. He's going to be playing against grown-ass men in the NFL. I mean, he can still beat blockers in a variety of different ways, but he just needs to get stronger as far as like his bull rushing ability would go. What's a good comp? Sam Hubbard is a good comp for him.
Okay, I can get down with that. I like the mock draft that Zoo just sent over in the chat too.
He sent us something in the chat.
Little Trey Amos, a little Trevion Henderson. I love Trevion Henderson. I would love to see him in Washington. We'll definitely need running back help there. But yeah, I'm not worried as in like we're like Giants level worried. I'm just worried as in like it's a little. And I didn't even bring up Deebo Samuel. I still think Deebo Samuel though is going to have his Zach Ertz. I think he's going to be the Zach Ertz, Austin Eckler kind of resurgence player, but on a different level. I think we'll be able to get a little more out of him. But one thing that we don't have to worry about is quarterback. We are fine. We're great with Jaden Daniels. We re-signed Marcus Mariota as our backup quarterback. And number 3, folks, it really strikes me, like now more than ever, as we all see it play out, that if you don't already have a quarterback going into this offseason, baby, you're screwed. You're screwed, or you're having to make a big gamble on some free agent like Sam Darnold or Justin Fields, one of those younger free agent quarterbacks, trade for like an unknown potential in Joe Milton or Hendon Hooker, or you'd pick up one of these musty, dusty veterans like Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins, or you risk a top 10 pick on Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, who are not on the level. Dart. They're not on the level of, what Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels was last year, and I don't think that they will play to that. Not even to the level of C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young the year before. So, yeah, man, I'm glad that all of us are good at quarterback right now. Even Tampa. Congrats.
Even Tampa. Hey, we re-signed Kyle Trask too, so we got a backup still. So
hey. Trask with the ask. Hey. Number 2, folks. We're talking about quarterbacks. I'll bring up Bo Nix, great rookie star last year for the Denver Broncos. And number 2 for me on my observations is just the Denver Broncos. I really, really like the Broncos' moves so far. And I think they've kind of gone a little under the radar, which is good for a team that's trying to, step up. They signed some sneaky, helpful offensive weapons for Bo Nix and his development. They got Evan Ingram at tight end after the Jaguars released him because Jaguars didn't want to do that contract anymore. And they got a, good slot receiver in Trent Sherfield. And they got some really, really great potential helps on defense, pretty much just taking the 49ers defensive stars, like the best pieces of them, in linebacker Dre Greenlaw, who fits a big need at middle linebacker for them, and the safety Talanoa Hufanga, who's been a badass for the Niners at safety. So outside of that, they also re-signed their defensive tackle star DJ Jones and haven't lost any major pieces on that team. So I really like Denver to, continue to step up and repeat what they did last year and be a full playoff contender, even with teams looking at them and looking for them. I honestly, right now, I like them better than the Chargers in the AFC West.
Oh, and absolutely.
I like them to be a solid number 2 in the AFC West. Who knows what they were competitive against Kansas City. That team, the whole division is competitive against each other every year. I can see the Broncos beating the Chiefs once, maybe even both times, and really fighting for the AFC West title. So, yeah, go Broncos.
Has Juszczyk signed anywhere yet?
He is not.
Because I know they're up. I know the Broncos, their fullback that they have is a free agent right now. So, I mean, they've already pillaged the Niners on the defensive side of the ball. So bringing Juszczyk to go play in a Sean Payton offense.
That could be something right there. That could be something. And Zoo threw in here, Heineke signed an extension with the Chargers. So now the Chargers are back to number 2.
Good for Taylor.
They've moved.
I mean, he's not going to Cleveland.
Thank God. Even though I like watching Taylor.
I just imagine the Cleveland Browns war room right now. They have a whiteboard list of all the quarterback names and who's all available. And they just saw the Taylor Heineke thing. They just scratched his name. Damn it. Can't get him now. We got to call somebody.
They learned it exclusively here too. They learned it at the same time as us. That's not number 1.
So tomorrow morning is when they see this?
Exactly. They saw it tomorrow morning, but they knew tonight because they're watching us. They have an exclusive feed to us. Shout out, Jim.
My brain hurts.
Number 1. on my top 5 observations from free agency week. Look, man, I know that the NFL aims for parity every year, and they've done a great job of it for the most part. You know, you get to see different teams go from worst to first. Look at Washington last year. If you get the right opportunities and people are smart about it. But these offseason moves between free agency, trades, even re-signings, they haven't shown me whatsoever that any of 2024's shitty teams are going to be any better in 2025. Like just not whatsoever. And it's been much more of a reloading to me for the contenders to try and usurp Philly and Kansas City in the AFC and NFC. You know, Detroit getting DJ Reid from the Jets. Washington making the signings that they're making. The Rams getting Devontae Adams, and who I believe is an upgrade over Cooper Kupp at this point in time. And then you're seeing also a lot of great re-signings in Buffalo for Buffalo to keep that team intact. You're seeing Baltimore make their moves. Pittsburgh's making their moves. Denver obviously making their moves. I don't see the Giants being any better than shit this coming season, and it's going to be that dead year for Brian Daboll and Joe Shine. Can we really honestly trust this guy in Jacksonville?
Duval.
I don't trust him. I don't trust him there. It's not going to go well. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be really that good. I don't believe in the Titans whatsoever yet. There's a lot that needs to be worked on there and fixed, especially. I think that's why they got the new GM, because it was a team that definitely was in shit mode last year, but still making moves for players like L'Jarius Sneed and giving them huge extensions when it's not going to be competitive. And
Baker Mayfield needs to chill on making offensive coordinators look so good.
He really does. He really needs to. This is getting
away with this.
It's getting out of hand. The only team that I do see, getting out of the gutter this year is Cleveland, and I don't think Cleveland was really that much of a gutter team last season. I just think the injury. I like the talent on the Browns. I like the talent enough on the Browns. I just don't think Jameis Winston was competent enough to do it, because it's Jameis Winston, man. We know what Jameis Winston is. We know what Joe Flacco took that team to the playoffs. I have a
comparison for you.
Okay.
Who has a better chance of stepping up this year, the Browns or the Panthers? Do the Panthers fit this
I guess
the storyline of yours?
I don't.
Or did they start making enough progress?
I don't know if I'd put the Panthers as much in the gutter, just because they started to show so much momentum at the end of the season last year. Like, things actually started to feel positive for them. So I could see them continuing to make the positive moves. I don't think that they're going to contend for even the NFC South title. I don't think that they stack up to Tampa. But
I could see them having a Broncos like season this year.
I'm rooting for them too.
I'm rooting against him because I don't like Tepper.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you're.
I don't. The more the Panthers win, the more money he makes, and the more money he makes, the more insufferable he gets. So I know. Yeah, sorry, Panthers. You got to lose.
Yeah, fuck off, Panthers. Back in the gutter. Throw them back. What do you think?
It didn't matter to buy the Panthers.
Zoo, do you think? Okay, if I go through these, let me pull up the NFL draft order. But I'll start with the Titans. Are the Titans going to be good this year? Do you think? No. Okay. The Browns.
No.
The Giants.
No.
Patriots.
Yes.
Okay. How much better?
What's the measuring stick on term good?
Are they
over 500?
Let's say 2 to 3 games better than what their say 3 games better than what their record was last year.
Okay.
I will say 3
games. They're like better. Middle of the pack. You don't know what each week is going to bring.
So, okay.
I think if you can play a team and not think like, oh, we got this, then that's...
There was a lot of 3-win teams last year. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Jaguars are 4-13. Do you think the Jaguars will be a 7-win team next year?
No.
No.
Oh, I have a great question here that I didn't think about earlier. Scott, the Raiders have traded for future Hall of Fame quarterback, your guy, Geno Smith.
I know.
Are the Raiders for real now?
No. Geno is, but yeah, they're not. Nope.
So, Zoo, do you think the Raiders could be a 7-win team next year?
Maybe.
Not in that division.
And then we get to the 5.
Oh, and they play our division too? Wait, no.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to the 5-win teams, the Jets. Do you think the Jets could hit 8 wins next year? Carolina, do you think they can hit 8 wins?
Yes.
Tricky one here. The Saints at 5-12.
No. Regression. They're going to do worse next year than they did this year.
I want to believe that too.
What were they at?
They were 5-12 last year.
Give me 2 wins for them next year.
If healthy, they could win by another 1 or 2.
Okay. And then the 10th pick in the draft, the Bears, 5-12.
Yes.
I
have them having
probably
the biggest
die of laughter if they don't do any better.
I think they need to have 8 wins. I think next year. I think you have to have
that picture of the updated shot of Ben Johnson. It was like when he did his press conference and how he looks right now. How stressed, miserable, and worn out.
That's how it's gonna be. That's how it
is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean they have to be better. There's just no. Last year there was no excuse not to be better.
No. This is the. I'm not gonna say make or break. It's Johnson's first year, but that's a team that has the talent to do this. Is there anything I missed? Those are my top 5. Is there anything I missed on my observations? Is there any what was the biggest observation for you guys?
I mean, you just touched upon it like for a quick second, the Bears and what they've been able to do since Ben Johnson's been able to come over. Like they've completely rehauled their offensive line. It looks like they have a competent roster now, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So I'm interested to see how they're going to be able to develop Caleb Williams. And then even some big signings on the defensive side of the ball as well to kind of address some issues. And they're still picking what? What's the pick? They got number 10?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So bring in like Will Campbell, the tackle from from LSU or something like that. Bring in a young tackle who could be a franchise guy for you forever and just pair him up.
That is seeming to be like the big trend that teams are learning from last year, or at least I think a good trend that teams are learning from Philly and Detroit last season is that you gotta build the trenches. That offensive line, defensive line, get big, get nasty, and you can, at least create a foundation for success. And the Chicago, Ben Johnson learned that quickly now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my biggest thing was just the status of the NFC West. There's just so much intrigue because 3 of the 4 teams are just so ridiculously active. But I think the Rams is the only one where it's like you kind of have an idea of like what the plan is because they were able to make a little bit of a run once people got healthy. But the 49ers and the Seahawks are just such a big question mark. It's so fascinating. I'm curious to see just how that progresses.